let's go into some success stories.
Okay. Well,
All
let me hold on, because we're skipping that. Let me let's cover the motivation behind this book. Okay?
Oh I asked you that question, and I think I was thinking about time.
That's it.
But we got time
make it
because
really
we're going to
quick.
have a second half.
Yep.
Okay. So go ahead.
Yep.
Motivation.
Sure. What's the motivation behind the book? Well, first, this was something I've always wanted to do. So it's a dream come true for me. I've always wanted to write a book. Just didn't know what the topic was going to be about. We knew it was going to be about medicine, and I knew it was going to be about educating the community, because it's an extension to what we already do with our outreach. So this is an extension to the outreach.
Or an extension to Ask Dr. Tommy Yo
It
show.
is, yep. It's just another platform to get my message out there. In my office, the success was so great. After 2 years of success, I took a survey, of a patient survey, and I documented it. I have graphs. I send this upstate New York so we know what's going on. So the those who are administrators and the governor, as well as the medical directors overseeing the program, they can track this program. And I decided to say, I'm going to write the book about the success of my patients that are on medical cannabis, medical marijuana. And I wanted to educate the community so they understand that there is a necessity, and it's not what you think. It's not about getting high and stoned, the Spicoli image. It's about, I tell my patients right away, it's a natural medicine or a natural supplement, and my goal is, and my mission is, to make you comfortable and functional for quality of life. I want my patients to be able to go out and enjoy themselves. I want them to be able to go out to dinner. I want them to socialize again. I want them to go see a movie. I want them to be able to make their doctor's appointment. And so far, I've been able to achieve that. And the key is you have to, like we said, spend time, educate your patient, educate the community. Take time and look, listen, and feel your patient. It's like CPR. I look at my patients, I listen to them, I feel them physically, because I give all my patients a thorough exam. A lot of patients come in and say, wow, my doctor doesn't do that. I'm listening to their carotid arteries, I'm looking in their eyes. I do everything like I did as a family practitioner, but I also feel them physically and emotionally, that emotional component. And that's what you do as a minister. Well, spiritual education, well, I do the same thing coming from a physician. I want to know, do they understand me? Are they listening to me? Are they looking at me? Are they mirroring me and saying back and repeating what I'm saying to them? But I want that, I understand. When the light bulb goes on, it's like, I understand what you're saying, Dr. O'Brien. And a lot of times I tell my patient, when I introduce myself, I say, hey, I'm Tommy. And they look at me like, well, Tommy said, because they're used to saying, I'm Dr. O'Brien, or, very formal. So I'll tease them, well, if you want to call me Dr. O, Dr. Tommy O, that's fine. But, you want to call me Tommy, that's fine as well.
I read in the book that some people come to you and they have been taking painkillers. And they don't work anymore because I guess the tolerance to pain. Tell me a little about painkillers, but also there is how would you call it? There's something that also can happen to you by taking too many painkillers, and they're not because if one doesn't work, take another one. Like some people take 2 aspirins and eventually they're on 4 aspirins and there's 6 aspirins, And what's happening there, and how does this change? To cannabis are going to make a difference in their lives?
Well, there's a lot behind that. As a physician, I have my viewpoint, and I feel that, again, practicing in the South Bronx, I feel that the education, the physician's education is not strong enough. I've seen a lot of hospitals, they discharge their patients from the ER, and the first thing they do is they start them on a narcotic. They pierced the narcotic ceiling. Instead of starting them on Tylenol extra strength, an NSAID, like a Motrin, start them very low, Because once you pierce the narcotic ceiling, you cannot go back
Oh,
to
I
a
see.
Tylenol or Motrin. It's just not going to work.
Right.
This is a narcotic. It's a synthetic heroin, depending on what the category is. And you develop a tolerance to it. We have receptors in the body. And just like shooting heroin, it's exactly the same. It's just that a physician is prescribing it. The body doesn't know the difference between you shooting a needle or prescribing a pill and taking a pill. The body's going to react the same way. So we have receptors in the body, receptors in the brain. Then we can go into the amygdala, and that's the part of the brain where we have the pleasure zone, and you get a little rush out of it and you're going to crave it. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be sex, it could be alcohol, it could be gambling, something, if it could be sugar. Okay, you get a sugar rush. So that's the part of the brain where the pleasure zone, the amygdala, that part of the brain, and you're going to start craving more because you're going to want that sensation and you want to continue it. However, you develop a tolerance because the receptors start to what we call downregulate. And I don't want to get too much into biochemistry, but every time you use a substance, the receptor in the cell starts to sink and get deeper and deeper, and we need to recruit more receptors for that chemical to latch onto, to bind onto. We call it an affinity. So we would need to drive more medicine in to try to get that same sensation in the brain because we want that trigger, that signal in the amygdala to say, oh, that sensation.
Right,
okay.
right.
So as you increase the number of pills, the milligrams,
Sure.
you're gonna keep driving this. It becomes a futile cycle. It's a downward spiral. And the longer you're on it, the more you take it, the more you're gonna crave, or you're gonna want more because your body's trying to get that same sensation again, and you're not going to be able to achieve it. So you're going to keep pushing more, taking more, and we're going in the wrong direction.